In this video, Benny Johnson discusses the demise of MSNBC. Benny Johnson shows multiple sources corroborating the fact that MSNBC is hemorrhaging viewers and that the ratings are in the toilet. With that, let's watch Benny Johnson mercilessly roast Rachel Maddow, Morning Joe, and Joy Reid.
We're doing with the dumpster fire that is MSNBC right now. MSNBC descended into civil war as Rachel Maddow turns on a Morning Joe host, bending the knee to Trump. Oh no. Rachel Maddow has had to take a $5 million pay cut. Rachel Maddow makes $30 million to host a show once a week. You wonder why, again, it's like when people are that rich, there's no consequences in their lives. Like Taylor Swift and all of her planes supporting Kamala Harris. Like there's no, the grocery bills and the gas bills don't apply to Taylor Swift. When you're making $30 million a year, you can espouse anything you want. You can have the dumbest ideas possible. You can be on the Avengers cast. These people don't live in real life. And they should feel the pain of real life because it is painful. Rachel Maddow hopefully will be out on her ass, just like all the rest of the MSNBC crew when Elon Musk buys the network. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Here we go. MSNBC descending into civil war. Rachel Maddow, who had to take a pay cut because the ratings for MSNBC are in the absolute toilet. Fake news inferno. MSNBC viewership craters after Trump victory. Morning Joe down 40%. I mean, you can't keep everything. You can't keep the black cars. You can't keep all the makeup people. You know the staff we have to do our show? It's like 2-3 people, max. Like these people, these MSNBC shows have like hundreds of people to do their shows. Morning Joe has hundreds of people on staff to do a show that is worse rated. We get more viewers.
Isn't that just bananas? Hundreds of people on staff they were paying Rachel Maddow $30 million to do one show per week to produce a product that any objective person can see is just driven by a specific narrative, and it's garbage. Morning Joe down 40% in the ratings, Joy Reid 55%. That will be a celebratory day when we get rid of Joy Reid and Morning Joe for that matter. And one of the reasons people are flocking to social media to find influencers or political commentators that they can relate to is for the exact reason Benny just pointed out, and I talk about all the time. These hosts can't relate whatsoever to the average American or the working class. They don't understand what it feels like to pay double the money you were paying however many years ago for groceries or any product. So I've always said I think they were genuinely surprised when Donald Trump won the last election because they wouldn't come within a 10-foot pole of an average American. They look at those people, us, me included, as below them. So the only people they're talking to is people in their liberal elite bubble or Washington insiders on the left. And so I'm sure all they were hearing from those people is, oh my gosh, Kamala's doing so great. Just delusional people just like them. Anyway, before I get back to the video, Benny just kind of casually said, well, when Elon Musk buys MSNBC. Now, I know there were rumors and kind of trolling from Elon and other people about that online, but is there any, please let me know in the comments, is there any validity that that's a serious possibility? I know he can afford it. That would be amazing. Just the stories that would come out of that would be must read or must see journalism. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
We get more viewers than Morning Joe. Morning Joe's average viewers for their program, the key demographic was 38,000 people. And our show averages 200 to 250,000 views on YouTube alone. Averages 500,000 views across. So we're beating Morning Joe. Amazing. Where's my $30 million check now? Yeah, whatever. I'll take this. I'll take this any day because now it is a complete and total nightmare over there. Rachel Maddow is reportedly furious at her Morning Joe colleagues for meeting with Trump. Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski visited President-elect 2 weeks ago at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida to restart communications and set a new approach. Maddow, along with other hosts at the troubled liberal network, are calling the move but opportunistic, according to the report. What is it? Does this mean, is Morning Joe like trying for like to get like a Fox show or something? Maybe that's what they're trying to do, because they know that MSNBC, these two, they're such scum. They're such scum. They're hideous scum. They're ugly on the inside and outside. Some are just ugly on the outside, but they're both. Speaking on the condition of anonymity, journalists made clear that the problem, Morning Joe pivoting from calling Trump a fascist and Adolf Hitler to having a cordial meeting with him, they've lost all credibility. Rachel Maddow is pissed at them, and the other presenters like Chris Hayes and Ari Mebler, they're so frustrated. It was such a stupid thing to do. They had to bend the knee to ensure they were not being targeted by Trump and the whole MAGA world. Wow. This comes as MSNBC and devolved into utter turmoil following Trump's win. The network viewership has taken a precipitous dive. Comcast is considering spinning off the cable news show after Maddow got a $5 million pay cut. Oh no. What's going to be your budget to afford new stupid glasses? My glasses are like from Warby Parker, like $90. MSNBC set a new 20-year ratings low.
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
Just 38,000 viewers in the 24 to 25 to 54 range age group this week. Holy crap. Ratings are down 50% since Trump won. The channel is dead. 38,000 viewers. Crazy. Just crazy. We break that in concurrent viewership regularly on our on the betting show. We're just streaming live. We break that like pretty much on a daily basis. Morning Joe suffers humiliating defeat. Show turns off social media comments after they were brutally roasted for a Trump flip-flop. That's so stupid. This moment is so dumb. They deserve each other, right? The wages of sin. If ratings are to be believed, the real world and social media may not be as disconnected as they think. The morning show starts at 6 a.m. Viewership is supposed to climb as the episode goes on. However, Nielsen ratings show 145,000 viewers turned off MSNBC in the 7 a.m. hour just after Scaro and Brzezinski discussed the meeting. Ooh, man. Wow. So 38% of their audience turned the show off. The show briefly rebounded, but the numbers went down again. As recently as October, MSNBC anchors were averaging as high as 1.1 million viewers throughout its 4 hours. Goodness gracious. So they're getting massive backlash. What are they trying to do? Are they trying to like flee? Are they trying to flee the ship? That's probably what they're trying to do. These rats. They're such rats. Oh, man. Megyn Kelly had a great take on
For
that.
us, we also let him know that we will.
During the election and prior to that, and still, I guess, but not as much because they're irrelevant, I had such ridiculous disdain for Morning Joe, Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski. I remember covering a story that Morning Joe did where Joe Scarborough said that Donald Trump is such a serious, unique threat to the country that he was shaming media personalities that did objective journalism on him. Let that sink in. He was saying that you can't be objective with Donald Trump because he's such a threat. Of course, they called him Hitler, Nazi, dictator. Gosh, I wish we could count how many times they said that throughout the election cycle. But another thing Joe Scarborough specifically would do, he would constantly take things out of context or flat out lie or twist the words around that Donald Trump said and repeat them over and over, things that were just objectively false. Specifically, I remember him very close to Election Day saying that Donald Trump wants to put Liz Cheney in front of a firing squad, which we all know Donald Trump never said anything like that. In fact, other media personalities had to apologize. But it blows my mind that you can just go on such a large media platform and flat out say lies about a presidential candidate and clearly shill for his opponent. So when they went to Mar-a-Lago, obviously it shows what a joke Mika and Joe are. But I thought that, wow, Donald Trump's really showing some grace, because he has not been known throughout his career as someone who doesn't hold a grudge. But when they came back and reported on their meeting with him, they acted like it was a meeting of heads of state, like they were a very, very important guest. And then I think Trump put out a tweet saying something like, essentially, that's not what it was like at all. They came by and said hello, but they have such high opinions of themselves. They got on the air and pretended like they sat down and really went over the issues with Donald Trump, where he was just being gracious and had them over to his home. But it is funny that the moment after, according to them, Hitler gets elected, they want to go visit him. And the funny thing is, now the right and the left can't stand them, but they didn't need to bend the knee like that. To me, what it shows is a guilty conscience. They know they were way out of line with the things they were saying and doing, and now they're concerned that Trump is going to target them, because they had spread those narratives forever that he's going to go after media and political opponents and lock them up in jail. That's how deluded they were, that he actually thinks they're that important that he would do something to them legally. So to summarize, they spewed all this hateful and vile rhetoric about the president. They told everyone he's going to throw media and political candidates in, internment camps. And they started to believe their own BS. So when he got elected, they had convinced themselves that they were going to be some of these people getting locked up by the president because they said nasty things. I just don't believe any of that's going to happen, because if Trump investigates anyone, it's going to be people that there is significant evidence that they have committed serious crimes. It just cements my point that they think they are way more important than they really are. And that hubris is what made them go bend the knee to Donald Trump in the first place. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Will continue to speak truth to power and push back hard when called for.
Oh, please.
As we have with all presidents.
Don't be mistaken. We're not here to defend or normalize Donald Trump. We're here to report on him.
I searched for a way to respond appropriately, and I called on my 10 years as a litigator in addition to my now 20 as a journalist, and I think I found the perfect phrase: go f*** yourselves. Go f*** yourselves, you dishonest jokes of faux journalists. What an absurd farce that was, Glenn. Which one was insincere? He's Hitler? Or now we're going to speak truth to power and find a way of speaking to and working with Donald Trump? Which one was a lie?
The answer to that question is neither were lies. All of them were lies. They believe nothing.
He's right. They stand for absolutely nothing, and all they care about is money. And they probably like the power, too. I think it's the politicians more whose focus is on power, which leads to money. But Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski are just paid shills for the highest bidder, and they'll do whatever they can to make the most money they can. I think Megyn Kelly's message to them sums it up perfectly. Go F yourself. And I think Benny's final thought there was correct, too, when Megyn Kelly said, well, which is it? Is he Hitler, or do you want to speak truth to power? Benny said, neither. All they do is lie. That's why it blows my mind that anyone gets their news from MSNBC or these folks at all. And I mean that. I just don't understand it. But we want to hear from you. What do you all think about the downfall of MSNBC? And my biggest question, like I said before, is do you think there's a real world possibility that Elon Musk buys MSNBC? Let us know. Anyway, that's it for this video. As always, we really appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.